Witness the thrill of early checkmates, 6 shocking chess games with opening traps. Are you ready for an exhilarating chess experience? Get ready to witness 6 mind-blowing games, where even the strongest players found themselves checkmated in the opening. This video will leave you captivated as you explore fascinating tactical ideas that can elevate your chess skills to new heights. Let's kick off with an intense encounter starting with the classic King's Pawn opening. The game unfolds with strategic moves like e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, and knight c3, setting the stage for the gripping 3 knights game. Black opts for a g6 setup, eyeing bishop g7 as a powerful move. The tension builds as white unleashes d4, challenging the center. Black takes the bait with e takes on d4, prompting white's knight to strike with knight d5. Black swiftly develops their bishop along the long diagonal, bishop g7. However, white strikes back with bishop g5, targeting the queen. Black maneuvers their knight to g6, missing an opportunity to block with the knight and protect a vital square. Now, the trap is set. White initiates a knight sacrifice, captivating the board. With 2 attackers against white's sole defender, the queen, Black faces a critical decision. Will they capture with the knight, opening up the path for bishop e7 and queen devastation? Instead, they opt for bishop capture, unknowingly sealing their fate. White seizes the advantage, launching a jaw-dropping queen sacrifice. The primary objective is to eliminate the defending bishop from guarding the crucial f6 square. As the queen bravely takes on d4, Black finds themselves with no alternative but to accept the sacrifice. The tide turns decisively as white executes a knight to f6 check, exploiting the vulnerability of the undefended f6 square. Black's king seeks refuge on f8, its only escape route. Yet, white's relentless pursuit continues, with bishop h6 delivering the final blow, a checkmate that emerges from a mesmerizing combination involving just a knight and a bishop. Prepare to be enthralled by these captivating battles, as you witness the power of early checkmates and the art of opening traps. Immerse yourself in these games, absorbing their tactical brilliance, and discover fresh approaches to outmaneuver your opponents. Get ready for another captivating chess encounter where the French defense takes center stage. White initiates with e4, prompting Black to respond with e6, signaling the beginning of the French defense. White swiftly reinforces their control of the center by playing d4. Unfazed, Black counters with pawn to d5, aiming to disrupt White's central pawns. Demonstrating resilience, White places their knight on c3, fortifying their position. Black seizes the opportunity, capturing the pawn, and White swiftly recaptures with their knight, leading to the Rubinstein variation of the French defense. Intriguingly, Black chooses to develop their knight to d7 instead of c6, as capturing with the knight allows for immediate recapture without involving the queen. Undeterred, White proceeds with knight f3. Black responds with knight g to f6, aligning with expectations. Sensing an opportunity to exploit the weakness on f7, White diverges from knight exchanges and plays knight to g5, exerting pressure on the vulnerable square. Black remains steadfast, positioning their bishop on e7, making way for castling on the king side. Unpredictably, White elects to sacrifice their knight, seemingly a calculated risk. With the king obligingly capturing the knight, White follows up with another check and captures the pawn. Black's king, wary of potential entrapment after White's pawn capture, retreats to g8. However, White's ensuing move brings the game to an astonishing conclusion. Knight takes on e6, menacingly targeting the queen. Black, anticipating the threat, moves their queen to e8. In this critical moment, Black unleashes a masterful stroke. Can you envision the winning move for Black? It's none other than bishop to b4, a breathtaking double check. Astonishingly, this move delivers a beautiful checkmate, leaving White utterly defenseless. Are you enthralled by the sheer brilliance of this French defense checkmate trap? If so, don't hesitate to show your support by smashing the like button below this video. Let's aim for 10,000 likes and continue our journey through the fascinating world of chess. Introducing trap number 3, Italian game brilliance. Our next enthralling encounter kicks off with white playing e4, and black swiftly responding with e5. As the game unfolds, we witness the Italian game taking shape with moves like knight f3, knight c6, and bishop c4. Black then counters with knight f6, launching an attack on the e4 pawn. White retaliates with d4, opening up the center and posing a threat to black's e5 pawn. Intriguingly, black captures the d4 pawn, but white resists the urge to recapture, and instead castles on the king side. Despite being a pawn down, white enjoys a favorable position with well-developed pieces, notably the menacing rook eyeing the open e-file. Realizing the risk, black opts for h6, preventing the possibility of bishop g5. Here's where white plays a peculiar move, knight to h4. Though not the optimal move, white's intention is to tempt black into capturing the pawn, which would open up the diagonal and expose the knight to an attack from the queen. Hence, white wouldn't be able to play rook to e1 immediately. Succumbing to the temptation, black captures the pawn, and white starts to accelerate. White initiates queen h5, threatening an imminent checkmate. To fend off this threat, the best move for black is queen f6, but perhaps unwilling to bring the queen out so early, black opts for the seemingly natural move, g6. However, that turns out to be a grave mistake. In this critical position, white executes bishop to f7 check. Black has no choice but to capture the bishop, as leaving it be would expose the king to severe threats from the surrounding pieces. Thus, the king takes the bishop. Can you anticipate the winning continuation for white? It's a straightforward checkmate in 2 moves. First, queen g6 check. The only legal move for black's king is e7, and then knight to f5 delivers the final blow, a checkmate, sealing the game. Now, let's move on to trap number 4, Philidor defense decimation. Our journey continues as the game commences with white playing e4, and black mirroring the move with e5. Knight f3 follows suit, and black responds with d6, ushering in the Philidor defense. White strikes at the center with d4, prompting black to attempt the Philidor counter gambit by playing f5. White demonstrates astute play with bishop c4, eyeing the crucial diagonal while preparing for castling. Black seizes the opportunity, capturing the d4 pawn, and white swiftly responds by capturing the f5 pawn, leaving the e-file wide open. Capitalizing on this vulnerability, black delivers a check with queen e7. While white could have blocked the check with the bishop, they opt for king d2, with the intention of positioning the rook on e1 to pin the queen. Undeterred, black plays pawn to g6, disregarding white's plan. White, initially ecstatic, proceeds to play rook to e1, only to have their excitement short-lived. With the king exposed, checks abound. The sequence unfolds with bishop h6 check, followed by the king's retreat to d3, the most logical move available. The other bishop joins the action, delivering a check on f5. The king has no choice but to capture on d4, and the other bishop strikes with bishop g7 check. Observe the elegance as both bishops cut diagonals, forcing the white king to descend further. Finally, with c6, the checkmate is delivered, a spectacular conclusion achieved in a mere 10 moves. Isn't it astonishing to witness such remarkable chess tactics and traps? The beauty of the game lies in its intricate strategies and captivating maneuvers. Stay tuned for more gripping encounters as we delve further into the realm of chess brilliance. Now, let's proceed to the next captivating game. White kickstarts the proceedings with e4, and we witness black employing the Alekhines defense by playing knight f6. White responds with a strong push, e5, launching an attack on the knight. Unfazed, black maneuvers the knight to d5. White develops the knight to f3, simultaneously reinforcing the defense of the e5 pawn. Black decides to play d6, aiming to eliminate the pawn. White capitalizes on this opportunity by deploying bishop c4, developing the bishop while exerting pressure on the knight. In response, black advances the knight to b6, attacking the bishop. White seizes the moment, sacrificing the bishop by capturing the pawn with bishop f7 check. Such sacrifices exploiting weaknesses on the f2 and f7 squares are common in many opening traps. Black has no choice but to capture the bishop. Next, white delivers a powerful knight g5 check. Black wouldn't want to expose the king by playing king g6, nor does king e8 offer solace, as white can play e6, leaving black in a severely constrained position and granting white commanding control. Thus, black opts to move the king to g8. With black's king vulnerable, white introduces the queen into the game. Queen to f3 poses a threatening mate on the next move. The only saving move for black is queen e8, and then white seals black's fate by pushing e6, effectively restricting black's position. In this crucial position, black has only one optimal move. Can you discover it? Indeed, the best move here is g6. Although it may appear risky at first glance, as it opens up the king while facing numerous attacking pieces, it is the only good move. Unfortunately, black chooses a different path, playing h6 to attack the knight. Regrettably, that turns out to be a blunder, setting the stage for a checkmate in two moves. First, queen f7 check forces black to capture the queen, and then white responds by capturing with the pawn, delivering a checkmate. The knight covers the escape square for the black king. Rewinding a bit, had black played g6 in this position, they could have freed a square for the king and prevented this checkmate. Additionally, it would have opened up a diagonal for the bishop, providing potential defensive resources. Alas, black did not seize the opportunity and succumbed to checkmate in just 10 moves. Isn't it remarkable to witness the intricacies of these opening traps? The artistry of chess lies in the constant pursuit of tactical superiority. Stay tuned for more enthralling encounters that unravel the hidden depths of this captivating game. Now let's delve into our next intriguing game. White initiates with e4, and black responds with c5, opting for the renowned Sicilian defense. Following this, white plays knight f3, black counters with knight c6, and white employs the open variation by advancing their pawn to d4. Black seizes the opportunity, capturing the pawn, and white recaptures with the knight. Black develops their other knight, applying pressure on the center, and white defends it with knight c3. Then, we witness d6, clearing the path for black's bishop. White chooses bishop g5, positioning it along the queen's diagonal. To thwart white's piece advancement, black plays a6, safeguarding the square. White responds with queen d2, potentially preparing for a long castle while reinforcing the bishop. Black retracts their knight, avoiding spoiling their pawn structure in case of a white capture. Thus, they move the knight to d7. White proceeds to develop their other bishop. Black plays g6, intending to deploy their bishop to g7, targeting the center. White advances their knight. However, at this point, black commits a mistake by playing f6, aimed at attacking the bishop. A much better move would have been pawn to h6. The problem with f6 is that it exposes the crucial e6 square, which white exploits. White plays knight to e6, attacking the queen. The only safe square for the queen is a 5. The knight leaps once again, this time to c7, executing a fork on the king and rook. The only logical response for black is king f7. Next, white delivers a knight d8 check, and the king moves to g7. White now has a better move than capturing the rook. They can play knight to e8 check. This astonishing move displaces both the king and the queen from their positions, leaving both knights to seize the center stage. What a captivating sight. Now, it's black's turn, but they resign at this point. Can you discern the reason behind the resignation? It's actually a checkmate in 4 moves. I encourage you to leave your answers in the comments and see if you can solve this puzzle. Consider it your challenge for today. Before we conclude, don't forget to like, subscribe, and explore the other videos displayed on your screen. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and peace.